So welcome back. The day has finally come and I'm smiling, but I'm not really fully smiling inside. It's a sad day, an exciting day. It's just a whole mix of what's happening, but it's just gone 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm after getting a phone call that our new tractor is on its way, and that means we have to finally say goodbye to our trusted case 895. As said before in several videos, you have to see it to believe it, but I've never seen such a following behind a tractor as this little tractor here. I wouldn't be surprised if it went up in price lately. I think they have, because of this, because the surge of people who are looking to get by in this tractor is incredible. And I'm going to let you know very shortly now, when the other tractor arrives, where exactly this tractor will be, but I have a feeling that it's already pretty much sold. What can you say about it? I don't need to say anything about it. It's been on my channel from day one, and you guys have seen us going through all our bits and pieces that we've fixed on it, just leaving it right. And some people might say, you've spent so much money on it, why would you not just keep it? That's not me. I look after my tractors to the day they leave here, and I enjoy actually working on them. And the jobs I've done in this case has actually increased the value of the tractor. Tires, clutch, loader, things like that, they all increase value. Paint jobs, things like that don't, but good mechanics does increase the value of a tractor, and she has it all here in abundance. So they're a very well designed tractor. That XL cab, just a lovely design. A couple of things that did disappoint me with that tractor when I owned it was when I broke the front windscreen and we got a replacement glass, we couldn't get that tinted glass that you see that's kind of here. I hated that. I always hated I couldn't get the replacement proper glass for it. Perhaps someone could tint it, I don't know, but you barely notice it. But little things like that, I did like that little tinted glass. It was a lovely little touch on them cabs, but they're a lovely looking cab. It's a nice lovely short tractor as well, and that loader being so tucked in, it's just dead on the right loader for it. The 340 is the right loader for that tractor, because you can see it barely sticks out in front of it, and that's what you want. You don't want a loader that sticks away out in front of a tractor. So I'm not talking myself into keeping it. No, I'm happy with the decision I made. I'm just standing here because it is very windy. Last night was a very, very rough night. Some things is going to be hard to see gone, and that is our tyres. Our Agristar 2's just made simply a brilliant job of this tractor. They were the biggest improvement to this tractor. Some people might say the loader. Do you mind? But no, it was our Agristar 2's that really stole the show. Any of you guys have watched that video, I'll put a link up in this video, you can go back and watch it. It made the difference in night and day, especially in the field, even topping. As you can see here, like if you look behind me, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Our land is very, very steep. That's just an unfortunate part, I suppose, of our farm. Look, we get by and the land dries out pretty quickly on them hills. So that's why we always need penny grip, and by God do we get that in abundance with them. Our loader that we bought down in the north, I think we bought that loader in Antrim, was on done deal, and that just changed the whole way the tractor worked. I hope it doesn't go to somewhere where it's going to be abusive and rough and just throw it there in the corner. I hope it does go to someone who appreciates it as much as you guys, as said before, and as much as I do, and takes it on to the next level. Maybe keep it as a vintage tractor, vintage runs, and still have it as a working tractor too, because at the end of the day, a working tractor is perfectly capable of doing a lot of work for many years to come. So that's what I hope for. It doesn't always happen, but you live in hope. The talk about sentimental value in machinery and things, I don't carry an awful lot of that. This tractor will go down as one of the all-time greats on our farm, 100%. Another thing is, our kids have grown up around it, and they've grown to love it as well, especially Elena. Before they went to school this morning, they all came up to say goodbye to it before it left, and that was nice to see. It has been here 6 years, maybe over 6 years now, and I only bought it originally to keep it for 1-2 years. All I wanted it was for a run around, throw the transfer box on it, never really considered putting a loader on it, throw the transfer box on it just to run back and forth to the other farm. That's all I really wanted, do a bit of topping, things like that. But it's done so much more here. It just became the tractor that I nearly went to all the time when I was doing most of my jobs around the yard or topping. So it turned into a tractor that become really busy on our farm. And that's why I say a loader tractor now, I realise how handy it is to have around a farm. Yes, the big Massey sitting there in all our pride and joy. Couldn't be without it. Absolutely love that tractor. But the case is special. Alright, so it's a couple of days later and a good tight haircut later as well. I didn't get to film any more that day because it literally poured. Couldn't even video it coming off the lorry and the case going onto the lorry. I really wanted to do that. Couldn't do it. This just was torrential rain. You'll see a little clip that I've shown of the tractor coming up the lane for the first time. Notice how heavy it was raining. And thank you very much to my wife for standing out there to film that little bit of it coming up the lane, because we always film a new tractor coming up the lane for the first time and we always keep that in our memories. So, any of you guys that haven't worked out what we bought, and I know a lot of you are going to say, that's a 5455 or a 5445. Well, it's not. This is our new tractor, and this is a 5460. So this is what we have purchased to replace our very reliable little case. It's a 2008 5460. So before we talk about the tractor itself, because I know you're mad to get into it and see what we have, because we're going to be doing some work to it pretty much straight away, but before we get into that, a little bit about the journey of what we were looking at before we looked at this tractor. So the first tractor we had in our mind to go and look at was a 4355. That's what we had in our mind, a 4255 or a 4355. And they would have been around 02, 03, in around that era. Nice tractor, always liked them since I had a 4270, liked the look of them tractors. But, and there was a couple of very big buts. That didn't sound right. There was a couple of very big issues. The tractor itself, I went and looked at one locally a mechanic was working on, got a good look at it and quickly realised, even by speaking to him, that the front axle was very light on them. And I'm going to be doing loader work, taking a lot of stuff from the silage pit, feeding the cattle, carrying around bales, and you know something? I didn't like the look of the front axle. To me it looked too light. The case itself looked heavier than that particular model, so to me it looked like it was downgrading. And that's what it did look like. I know a lot of you might disagree with that, but to me, that's what it looked like. Another thing was dry clutch. I spoke to a guy that has a 4355 and he loves it. He said, but get used to the idea you're going to have to put a clutch in it fairly regular if you're going to be doing much loader work. And that's something I don't like as well. It's not the fact of putting the clutch into it, it's just the fact of having the tractor going away to get it done, and I just didn't want to have to go through all that. So, wet clutch. Wet clutch to me was number one thing that we'd have to get in whatever tractor we looked at. First place we went to was Martin's Garage in Ballybor, is where I buy all my Masseys. And the only tractor I ever bought outside of Martin's Garage was Little 20, which we'll be doing an episode very soon on. And the case itself, because I bought it privately. But everything else came from Martin's Garage, so the logical choice was to go straight back to them to look for a new tractor. So, we did look at a couple of models in there, but there was very little to pick from because Ronnie, the salesman there, said himself, it's very hard getting good second-hand tractors at the minute because we're waiting on so many new tractors to come in, and then we'll have a flood of them when they do come in. But there's a shortage of tractors, new tractors especially at the minute. It's causing a bit of a store, and that's why the price of second-hand tractors are going through the roof. But we did see a 55 in there with a quickie front loader on it, and I went home to think about it, but I didn't really push towards it because at the time I put it out of my budget. I wasn't thinking of spending that kind of money. Following day I changed my mind. I said, you know what, I'll go back and look at it. But I found out then that it was sold. That's how quick these tractors go. The 55, which I probably would have bought, was sold, and that was that. We wouldn't have another tractor then, Ronnie says, coming in for about January or February or so, and I was hoping to get something done before Christmas if it was possible, but I said I'd wait. So I left that dealership, went home, thought nothing more of it, until a fan reached out to me and sent me a picture of a few tractors that were in Johnson Farm Equipment in County Longford. Now I looked at the first picture that I got and I did see a couple of tractors that I liked, and there were 5445, 5455, two of those, and a 5460. There obviously was tractors in there that suited me. I seen that straight away with loaders on them, pretty clean. So I thought about it, but I didn't make contact until another guy messaged me and said, Adrian, you have to check out Johnson's Farm Equipment. So I said to myself, what have you got to lose? Picked up the phone, rang, spoke to a salesman called Dermot, lovely lad on the phone, spoke about loads of different tractors that he had, and eventually the final one he mentioned was this one. And he says, this one might actually suit what you're looking for. He didn't know me at all, didn't know anything about YouTube or anything like that. So we had a good discussion about it, about figures and things like that. And I went off and I thought about it for a while. And I ended up ringing Ronnie in Martin's Garage and had a good chat to him. And I told him we were looking at one in Johnson's. And Ronnie was 100% about it, but I wanted to tell him first. I didn't want to jump over anybody. It's not what we do. I do like to kind of stick with the one dealership and the one machinery place if I can deal with it. And he was 100% with it. He said, if you see a tractor you like, look at, work away, there's no problem there whatsoever. So we rung back Johnson's, we got talking to Dermot, and we arranged to drive down to County Longford and have a look at this. So I walked over to it, and the first thing I didn't like was these wheels. I did not like these wheels. They do not fill the arch. I do not like them at all. They're just way too small for this tractor. But they're a common thing on this particular model. When it's a loader tractor, a lot of people pick these smaller wheels when they're bought new. So I wasn't surprised to see them on it. These wheels, as you can see, are also completely bald. The front ones are done. Dermot said to me, do you want a new set of tyres on the tractor? I said no, leave them as they are. I have a plan for these wheels. As I said before, the set of wheels that be going on these here will be a brand new set of Lions tyres, and there'll be a set of rims going on it as well. We're going to raise up the rim. We're going to go from 34s to 38s, 24s to 28s. We're probably going to go up to 540 in the back, 520, 540, and the other 420, 440 on the front. So that's going to make a big difference to it. That's going to lift it right up. We have ordered them wheels already. We actually ordered them with Kirby. Kirby is a company that we did business with before. You might remember them with the case. The Lions tyres were on the case and the wheels were on our slurry tanker, so we have worked very closely with them before, and they've always been really good to us in sourcing out the right type of tyres for us. So we're going to be working with Kirby again and the Lions tyres to get a new set of wheels and tyres onto this tractor, and that will make a big difference. So maybe sometime in January, February, we'll get that done. Another thing I didn't die about was this loader. Nothing wrong with the loader, it's just it's not the cleanest. It's all right, there's no cracks, wells or anything like that done to it. It's 100% honest and straight. It's just gone pink with the sun. It happens a lot of these loaders. It's just basically a quickie loader with a Massey Ferguson badge on it. That's all it is. It'd be very similar to what we had. Has self-leveling built into it. That's one real good benefit. It has a self-leveling on it. So try not to look at that loader too much, because that's one of the first projects we'll be doing in the summertime with this tractor. That loader will be coming off when all the feeding and everything's done this winter time. The loader will be coming off and going into that shed there when we have it cleaned, and we're going to get it sandblasted and fully resprayed and new decals on it. So when we're done with that loader, it will look like new, and that will make a serious difference to the appearance of the whole front of the tractor. The tractor itself is very clean, and one thing I will say, the guys in Johnson's, first class, absolutely first class service. There was loads of little things missing, small little things were missing here and there, like little buttons here were missing and things like that, and I didn't even see the half of them. And they spotted them and they replaced everything that was either broken or missing. Everything was replaced inside and out. They cleaned the tractor up here in the back, just decaled everything for me, made a real good job of it, left the tractor really, really clean and working 100%. Tractor didn't have his third step, but because we mentioned to the guys in Johnson's that we're going to be changing these wheels out, they came along and put a third step on it without us even asking. I noticed that when it came, it had its third step, because when she's raised further off the ground, the step is going to be further off the ground, so you're going to need them then. So one very familiar thing you're going to say is it looks very, very like our 6470, and so it does. My father seen it first, and the first thing he said was, did you buy your old 6470 back? And honest to God, he meant it, because I wasn't really talking to him much about the tractor. We were actually just too busy at other jobs or cattle and things, and I never really mentioned that the tractor was coming. And it was only when he seen it in the street he said, that's very familiar. And he's right, so it is identical to our 6470, and when the bigger wheels goes on it, it's even going to look more like it. And it is, in every way, it's very similar to our 6470. Actually, I always liked the appearance of these tractors. I said that before when I owned the 6470. I like the look of these tractors. It wasn't originally something I thought we would have bought, but I'm glad now to have it. I'm really feel privileged to have it here in the yard. Now, other stuff that we got done, we got a set of work lights put on the front. We don't need them on the back, but front definitely for loader work. The guys in Johnson's put 2 flashers on it. We didn't ask them to do that, but they put 2 brand new flashers on it for us. Another thing I noticed about it, and this is something that I like in a company, no matter who they are, it's just a detail. I notice these things, they mightn't think I'd notice them, but I did. When I looked at this tractor, these are notorious for filling with water and dirt and everything. And they were black dirty inside when I seen this. But I didn't mention it because I knew, take it home, take them apart, clean them all out or put a new set on it. It's fine, it's not a big deal, they were working. But I didn't have to do that. When the tractor landed to me, the lights had been fully cleaned inside. I liked that. I liked that they took the time to see that and fix it before it came. Only took about 5-10 minutes to do, but they done it. They didn't have to do it, but they did do it. And it did please me to see that done. The tractor has got a full service. And another thing they done was the front axle got a complete check over, because any tractor you buy with a front loader, make sure that you get the front axle all checked out, because that's where a lot of weight can sit And on this one here, the track rod ends was replaced. It wasn't the fact that they were gone, it was just they were starting to get towards that area and they didn't want to send it out to me and have it come back in a year or two's time to get the job done. They sent it out right to me, which is another job I appreciate. Right, when we get up on it here and have a wee look. So when you get up on this tractor, first thing you're going to probably see is my leather seat. The amount of people that ask me about this leather seat, because I had the very same one on my 7.6. I got this on eBay. Just type in leatherette seats for Massey Ferguson, or they do them for every model, and you'll find it. You'll usually come up on eBay. Amazon I don't think have them, but eBay do, and there's other shops in the UK that have them as well. You have to take the bottom cushion off, you have to take the back cushion off, you basically have to strip the whole seat down. But it's not a big job to do that, and then you get your seat cover put on properly. It's not going to slide off or lift up or anything, and it's a really good quality seat. Next thing after that you're going to notice is an air seat. Oh yeah, an air seat. Anybody that has an air seat knows the comfort of them, and I was glad to see an air seat in this. So when we get up here, the first thing you're going to see, T-bar. So we're back to the same gear stick that would have been in the 6470 and the same as what's in the Massey up there. So these two tractors will drive exactly the same. Paddle shift here. It's Dyna 4, the same as our new Massey, so two tractors are going to be very, very similar to drive. One thing I will say, we had Dyna 6 in our 6470, and I thought it would have been a downgrade to go for Dyna 4 in the big tractor, and you know something, just a difference in not having as many gears. I like Dyna 4 now. I got really used to driving it. So having the Dyna 4, I actually prefer it. I have to say, for the work that I'm doing, not travelling an awful lot on the road, I like the Dyna 4. If you're doing haulage work, maybe or something like that, Dyna 6 might be a bit better. But I like the Dyna 4 and I'm glad that it's in this. Then obviously you have your joystick for your loader. 3 spools, which is brilliant. Your PTO on and off, that's different than what was in the older Massey and the new one. Some people seem to like that. I haven't even used it yet, so I'll let you know as I go along what that's like. Down here you have your 540 and your 1000 speed, if you can see that. So then you have your hitch release here, so you lift your arms up, pull this back and drop down your hitch. Another thing this tractor has is a telescopic hitch. I think most of these models do. It's a great thing. Telescopic hitches are just brilliant, especially when visibility isn't great. It makes life so much easier. I will say one thing that this tractor has, and my last two Masseys didn't have, and it's way better than both of them. This controller here with the toggle switch for your arms. I can't believe why they didn't use that on the new Massey and the last one that I had, because that is brilliant. Your hand just fits like a mouse for a computer on it, and everything's just there beside you. You're not having to look for the area. It's there, and you put your hand straight on it. That there is brilliant. One of the biggest drawbacks I have with the 7.6 that I have is that lift switch. I'm going to make inquiries to see can I get it changed out for a toggle switch like this one here. Because I absolutely hate that thing. Absolutely hate it. You're lifting the arms and you have to press the neutral button to stop them, and then you have to press the other button. It's just a headache, so it is. So I really don't like the lift on that tractor, and I'm hoping that it can be converted back to the toggle switch, because as much as I don't like that either, it's hard to beat this. It's still miles ahead of what they fitted on them tractors. This here, I don't know what it's for. See it on the other ones as well. Not just too sure what the idea of that there is. It doesn't really serve any purpose. Would have been nice to have it been a flap here or something. So I don't know, maybe some of you can let me know what that's for. Here my fridge is missing. Wonder can you cut that out and get a second hand one of these and slide it in? It would be cool if you could. We do like our luxuries. When you take them away from us, they are a miss. So I might just find out, can a fridge be got for that. Control panel here is much simpler. No clock on this tractor again. I don't understand why they don't put clocks in the tractor. Mystery to me completely, but no clock, no display like before. Your whole lights is down here now. The guys put an extra switch for the work lights here. Got a proper loom for it and done it correctly. So all the lights is here now, indicators. Key is back where it should be, as far as I'm concerned. Not up here. I don't like the key being up here. You're always reaching down here all the time, even in a new tractor, and I think it's probably the best place for it to be. That's really it. We go over to the far side here. No cubby hole, just this, which is I would have liked the cubby hole. That's one little drawback. There's no actual places to put stuff in the tractor. I would like that, maybe even under the seat or something, somewhere to put storage, because them little cubby holes, they're great. They are great. Otherwise than that, you have your air conditioning, your heater, all that stuff works. The cab roof itself is spotless. So that's what I really like to see. There's no big dirty handprints or tears or rips on it. It's really, really clean. You can see our McHale bale lifter behind Bailey is on it already, so it's walking away. It was putting inside it first here within an hour of it landing, so it didn't get much chance to sit or get much of a welcome. straight to work, and that's what it's here for. The back of the tractor is very similar than what we would have had before. If you look here closely, this is one thing I do like. This is the same as what it was in the 6470. The 7.6 is a wee tiny one. Never understand it because you can barely push it back and forth. And when you move this valve, that's for controlling the oil flow to make your telescopic hitch work. So you reach out, close the valve off when you're not using your hitch, so the spool valve will work correctly, or you can open it to work your hitch and vice versa. But this is nice and easy because it turns. The one in the 7.6 doesn't. I'm going to have to take it apart, try to get a longer handle if I can get one, or at least free it up. It doesn't look like it was used very often and it's very stiff. Another good thing is we've got a quick return. That's great when you're using post drivers and stuff like that. Brilliant, because it allows the oil to get straight back into the back end real fast. There's no delay, so when you're dropping a weight on a post driver, that will speed the thing up greatly. Great thing to have on the back, but very simple to fit to any tractor. Definitely something you should have. So this is our replacement. The case is no more. Very sad to see it go. Don't think I'm not. I am very sad to see it go, but hopefully it'll go to a new home. That's all I want. I want to see it go to a new home and get looked after as it should, because it was a damn good tractor. And if this tractor is half as good as it, I'll be pleased. And I have to say a huge thank you to the guys at Johnson Farm Equipment, because I've never dealt with them before. I've never stood in their forecourt before, and they've treated me with so much respect from the day I went in, and looked after me really well, made sure the tractor was A1 100%. And I'd be fairly fussy, I won't lie, I'd be fairly fussy that the machine comes right and looks right when it comes, and I had no issues whatsoever with this. I could not be happier with the way it is. That is our new replacement. You're going to see a lot more of this tractor in our yard from now on. Some really exciting videos to come of our wheels getting upgraded and our loader getting painted next summer, and maybe a few little twerks here and there to give it a little bit of a personal look for us. I'm not expecting it to be as reliable as the case. There's more electrics in this than will be in the case, obviously, but if it's half as good, I'll be happy. Right, so that's it. I'm going to finish off the day because I'm actually going to be clipping the rest of our cows today. We're doing a clipping video at the minute. We were clipping all day yesterday, our heifers over on the other farm, and I wouldn't believe after 4 animals done, me clippers blew up in my hand. Yeah, there's a video coming on that soon, but I wasn't impressed, but that's life, unfortunately. And believe it or not, the battery clippers jumped in to save the day, but I still wasn't impressed with what happened, but you'll see that in the next video. We're going to be ding dust now in this evening into clipping the rest, because with our dry cows done, we only have about 20 cows left to do, so well on with clipping. Just lots of work happening now. It's going to be busy now right up until Christmas. It's always busy because we're going to be calving cows in about 3 weeks time. That's when it starts. We have 10 cows in before the end of this month. So yeah, I like to give myself torture over Christmas. Look, it keeps you busy, keeps you happy. A couple of things I have to say. Our merch. If you want to be guaranteed to get our merch for Christmas, make sure you get your orders in before the 10th of December. That's the 10th coming, because after that, we can't guarantee you'll have it for Christmas, and we don't want to see anybody disappointed. But we're doing our best to make sure everybody gets what they want. So 10th of December, try to get your orders in before then. Another thing you'll see in our links from now on is our new website. Our new website is now fully operational. It was designed by a fan, actually. Bida was always giving me little tips and tricks when it came to our own website that we were using. I actually just ended up asking him, would you design a website for us? And he did. A real nice chap called Eamon Keane. Eamon designs websites for small to medium sized businesses and keeps them simple. He'll manage the whole thing. He knows what he's at. So what I'll do is I'll put a link down to him, because I'm really grateful. He didn't ask me to do it. We can send him some business because he was really good to us, and if we can send some business towards him, we'll do that. Other thing we'll be doing very soon is opening our silage pit. Our 2 dogs getting ready to take samples now this morning of our pit. So we will be opening that now probably in about a week and a half's time. I don't know what to expect. It's nice and solid on that side, a little bit softer on this side, but not to the extent it'd normally be, so I'm expecting a little bit of waste along here. I don't know what it'll be like on that side, so we'll have to see, but it's completely different than what we ever would have covered a pit before. And look, time will tell. I'm going to show it for the way it is. I know there's a lot of guys messaging me asking me about this, really interested, and so am I, because that's what our channel is about. We'll show different things, we'll try out different things. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. At least people get to see them honestly and first hand, and they can make their decisions from that. Just before I go, on a final note, a lot of this wouldn't have happened only for YouTube. You guys that have supported us from day one, our fans are the best fans in the world. Our channel has grown so fast, so quickly. We're at 50,000 subscribers now. We only hit it there last week. Our subscriber rates is on an up, our views is on an up, and look, we're a small farm here. I'm a family guy. I'm a father now to 5 kids. I have 5 kids, yes, 5 healthy young kids. We love what we do. You do get the begrudgers. You get people that hate to see you doing this. They hate to see it because they don't have it. But there goes a lot of work into getting these things, and if you want to get things like this or want to do well in life, you have to put the effort in. Don't expect it to come to you. But if you do put the effort into something, there's nothing you can't achieve. It's been one hell of a journey. 2 years, just over 2 years we're at now, and to get where we're at, it's very hard to put in words. I go to different places, different towns, different shops, and you're meeting people who are tipping you in the shoulder to say hello, and never in a million years could you ever imagine that in your life happening, but it's incredible. And people actually follow you and look for advice, and I don't know if we can give good advice or bad advice, we'll never know. And yes, we're going to be continuing the channel and growing it more and more as we go along. I'm forever grateful to all you guys. I know people that's there from the start, and I remember all the names that pop up in the comment section from there from the start. I don't forget you guys and all the new guys that come to join us. So thank you very much from the entire iFarm, We Farm family. I'll leave it there for now, folks. If you haven't subbed, now's the time to do it. Give us a like. Follow us on the usual Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. And until the next one, talk to you again.